Hello, good evening and welcome. Just going to drink some water, I haven't drunk enough today. Hello, good evening and welcome. Thank you for joining me. I'll just wait for people to start joining. Isn't it just so hot? I've got the fan on, I hope that doesn't affect. Here we go, I've got the fan on, I hope that doesn't affect. Hello, lovely people, come and join. Oh my goodness, that's better, I've got the fan on. I hope that doesn't affect the noise, but it is. We mustn't complain, we are so blessed to have this weather. Hello, come and join, lots of lovely people, come and join. Good evening, we're going to do a nutrition Q&A. So, ask any more questions for next week, I've got plenty for this week. Ooh, let me just have that breeze, isn't it amazing? So, lovely. We finally got summer. I hope we're all feeling really healthy and happy with our bodies and happy with our belly fat and happy with our health and happy with our positivity and purpose and happy with life. This is heaven, we shut our eyes. This is heaven, it doesn't get any better than this. So it's about positivity and purpose, and our purpose is to be a healthy weight, to not binge drink, to not eat junk, to do some exercise. We've been given a purpose. Our purpose is to help as many people in the world through our business or through family. Yeah, and we do that with our health, because health is everything. If you haven't got your health, you've got nothing, as you know. You haven't got a job if you haven't got your health. You can't help your family. You can't help others. So the most important thing is our health independence. And I talk a lot about it in my one-to-ones, because there's nothing more important. You haven't got your health, you haven't got anything. So anyway, thank you for joining me. We're going to talk lots and lots of nutrition Q&A today, and lots of you are here, so let's start talking. So, got quite a few questions. So first question is about fruit. I'm always asked this question. I seem to be the only person that knows the answer, and the only person that knows this fact. If you have fruit, it's fantastic. It's really low GI. Pomegranates are 17, cherries are 25. It's low fructose, but incredibly low GI. It's an acid, it goes in, you go to the loo, yeah. So you can, if you're 70 kilos, you can store 70 grams of fruit sugar before it actually becomes fat. So you really can eat a lot of fruit. It's not like, when animals hibernate, they eat trees. We're just talking about fruit. So fruit is fantastic. You go to the loo, it's a carbohydrate. It's a very low GI because it's not cooked. It's like carrots, 52 GI when they're not cooked, 85 when they're cooked. Same with fruit. We don't really cook fruit, or try not to cook fruit. If you keep it as it is, as it comes to you, that's going to be really low GI, lots of fibre, really healthy, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, phytonutrients. It's just phenomenal, fruit, isn't it? It's incredible. So when you have fruit, you want to have it on its own. Respect the fact that fruit is an acid. When it goes into your tummy, because it's an acid, it goes in quicker than anything else. So if you eat fruit with chicken or something like that, when the fruit goes in, obviously it goes in quicker and it kind of putrefies. You get kind of, that kind of bloat, yeah, fetid. So have fruit on its own, half an hour before or after you eat always, so there's a bit of clearing time. But the main thing is never have fruit with yogurt. Everyone says, why, Pippa? So there's a lot of scientific research about this. If you have fruit and you wrap it in alkaline, yogurt is alkaline, don't forget. So let's say you put your fruit in the yogurt, and obviously you then have the fruit, it's got alkaline wrapped around it. Alkaline kills the vitamins. So you're not having fruit anymore. You're basically taking away the fruit. And also, is it fructose then? Because if you're mixing it with alkaline, it can come kind of pulp. Yeah, and then it can actually potentially, be more of more sugary, because you're mixing the two together. Instead of seeing an acid going in and fibre and you get rid of it, it's actually going in as a kind of pulpy mess. Yeah, mixed up with all that yogurt. But the main thing is that alkaline, that yogurt wraps around that fruit and takes away all the vitamins. It's like having a coffee. If you have a coffee black, you get benefits. The heart speeds up a bit, the arteries are helped a bit, everything's good. If you put milk in it, you kill it. You kill the point. There's nothing wrong with that, there's nothing wrong with milk. But the point is, if you put milk in coffee, you kill the health benefits of coffee, because if you think they have health benefits, I'm a bit, but they speed up your heart a bit, they get everything moving a bit, they can clean out your arteries a bit, they sort of get you pumped up a bit. So if you think that's helpful, the minute you put milk in, you kill it. The same with the yogurt and the fruit. If you wrap alkaline yogurt wraps around the fruit, you kill all the vitamins. So just be very careful. Fruit on its own is fantastic. You go to the loo, fruit on its own, brilliant. Ozempic. I think I've talked about this before. Now, Ozempic is fascinating, isn't it? Ozempic has all this press, and I've had quite a few clients who've already been on Ozempic because I have quite a few clients in the States, and they did this a lot earlier than us. So what I first heard from those clients is that every time they took Ozempic, they felt very nauseous, and they were told they had to stop drinking. So if they did lose any weight, anybody who stops drinking alcohol, anybody who stops drinking will lose weight if they were drinking before. And anyone who's nauseous will lose weight because frankly you don't feel like eating. It's kind of ugh. It's when I had COVID for the second time. I was so nauseous. I had the Kent variant. It just felt like labyrinthitis when you're just kind of ugh on a boat. And it sort of puts you off food. So Ozempic does that. It kind of makes you a bit nauseous. So symptoms, it's lovely. Ozempic symptoms are diarrhea or constipation, nausea, vomiting. Great. So what do I think of Ozempic? Well, if you want to have nausea, diarrhea or constipation or vomiting, then wonderful. And it says everybody will at some point experience these symptoms. Well, my clients, they've had it for the whole time. When they took it, so they came off it. Most people come off it quite quickly. They just, ugh. The other thing that's really interesting about it, it says you'll lose 3 to 5 pounds a month if you take Ozempic, but you've got to combine it with a reduced calorie diet of 500 to 1,000 calories, 500 to 1,000 calories. Well, everybody would lose weight if they did a diet of 500 to 1,000 calories. And you've got to do exercise at least 3 times a week. So, hello, if you did a reduced calorie diet and exercise 3 times a week and didn't drink alcohol, you'd lose more than 3 to 5 pounds, I think. So saying that that's its results and you've got to go through this, taking this med that makes you feel nauseous and, what do you think? Do you think that's a good idea? Of course, the main reason I'm against it is because it hasn't dealt with the problem. The problem, if you are overweight, is in the head. My job is to see you in my one-to-ones and get into here and get that relationship with food to a healthy level. Get that relationship with food so you're normal and fantastic and happy and you can have nice breakfast and nice lunch and, something in the afternoon and nice supper, dinner, and everything's good without having any emotional eating issues or binge eating or overeating or over drinking or using food for stress or anxiety or sex, love, rock and roll. So that's why I have my one-to-ones with you, to do the emotional eating. Remember, I'm eating psychology, emotional eating, so we get you to have a really healthy long-term lifestyle for the rest of your life, way of eating with food, normal food that we can all just eat, and we don't have to be counting anything, measuring anything, all those things they do in diets. Diets never work. Of course they don't, because as soon as it's over, you go back to the old you and it all goes back on again, because the diet can't last forever. You cannot do a keto forever, you can't do an Atkins forever, you definitely can't do things like Cambridge Life, is it called, or any of those forever. And so as soon as you go back to being the old you, you'll put it all the way back on again. And this is the problem with Ozempic. You haven't dealt with the problem which was in here in the first place. It was the relationship with food. So you'll take Ozempic till you give up because it makes you too nauseous. You'll take Ozempic, and then when you stop taking it, because obviously you can't take it forever, most people stop taking it quite quickly, the weight will all just pile back on again. We don't want that we don't want it to be like that, do we? We want to lose the weight permanently, for good, yeah? And that's why with my clients, they all go, oh my God, this is so easy, this isn't a diet, I can do this forever, this is a lifestyle. All of you watching who are my clients, you always say that. You say, but this is fantastic, this is the first thing that's ever worked for me, I tried every diet, I don't feel like I'm dieting, this is great, I'm getting amazing results, and I feel I can do this forever. This is the first thing I feel I can do forever. That's what we're after, because we want to be healthy for the rest of our life. Whereas if we take Ozempic, we're just going to be nauseous, eating less and drinking less for a period of time, and as soon as we stop taking it, all the weight will go back on again, because you haven't had the knowledge or the help or the awareness or the cognitive behavioural therapy or the neuralistic programming or whatever it is that we need to deal with our relationship from food, which or drink, which often comes from childhood, our patterns, what we sort of had a habit of doing when we were younger. All those things are still there if you take Ozempic, you haven't dealt with it. So, what do I think of Ozempic? I think that's quite a good explanation. Give it a go if you want, but as I said, anyone who's tried it has always then given up on it quite quickly because they felt nauseous. And as I said, the weight loss doesn't seem very quick anyway. So that's Ozempic. Now, the other question today is about fat freezing, because I've done a boost about it, I've done a post about it, about fat freezing, and a lot of people are asking about it. I've done it. I've had it here for, I think, 5 years now. And honestly, I don't do it, I have a lovely lady, Kelly, who does it. Honestly, every client is a repeat because they love it. So I think that's the biggest testimonial, isn't it? Everyone comes back for more because they love the results. So they might have their tummy done and they then come back to have their love handles done. They might have their love handles done and they come back to have their arms done, or they might have their arms done and then they come back to have their bra bells done. So, and some people want to come back again. I mean, it gets the tummy, depends how big the tummy is, but if the tummy goes down a bit, you want it to go down a bit more, don't you? So, it absolutely works. And let me explain what it is. So cryolipolysis, was thought of a very, very long time ago. Your organs freeze at -15 and your fat freezes at -5. So you can simply freeze the fat without, it doesn't even touch you internally. It just doesn't even go anywhere. It's just, you can walk out after a treatment and go back to work, go to the gym, do everything as normal. It literally is non-invasive. And what you can do, it's the only way that you can actually spot fat. If you work out all the time, you can't say, I want to just work that bit, or I want to just work that bit, or I want to just work that bit, you can't. I want to just work, but you can't, because obviously your body loses fat from everywhere and depends on your body type and genetics, which bit goes first. And normally, actually, it's often the bit you least want to lose that goes first, isn't it? So people who are pear-shaped tend to get thinner and thinner here, and the pear's still there. And people who are apple-shaped and the legs go top often get thinner first. So you've really got. So that's why I got this machine, because I spotted years ago that my clients do really, really well. They lose lots of weight. They're feeling fantastic, but ultimately there might be a stubborn pocket of fat that they've almost got too slim. And they then don't want to lose any more weight, but they've got a pocket of fat. Normally the belly for women. Normally the love handles and the belly for men. Often the bra bulge, as I said, the inside thigh for women is very popular. Outside thigh for women is very popular. Banana roll is very popular. So, if you're sort of doing well, you're looking good. It's not for really obese people to come in and have treatment after treatment. That is not what fat freezing is for. It doesn't work that way. It's not a weight loss thing. It takes the top layer of fat off. So if you're in quite good shape, you've got, the thighs aren't great or something, or the tummy. The point of it is, the fat freezes at -5. So we put the handles on, and you stay there. It's just half an hour. You don't even feel it. You feel nothing at all. Couldn't be easier. So you put the handles on, and you're there for half an hour. Reading a book, doing your work. It's just so simple. You do it on your lunch hour. You do it anytime. You do it before breakfast. And half an hour later, those fat cells have crystallized. They're frozen and they're dead. They're crystallized. They're done. They're done with. So, which is fantastic. So, how simple is that? And then over a period of time, often inside thighs, some people say they see results in about 3 weeks. But over a period of time, it should be about 3 months, because that's the way the lymphatic system works. Gradually, obviously, like any dead cell, you've got all our cells die and are made and die, and every day. Those dead fat cells flush out through your lymphatic system, and that area of fat, let's say it was here, the fat cells have gone, and no, they can't really come back because they've been taken away. And so it's the only way you can target fat. So I got the machine years ago because I read a review by a male doctor. A lot of men love fat freezing because it's so quick and you go in and there's no downtime, and men are a bit more squeamish than women, so it kind of works for them because it's so unsqueamish, you don't even know you're having it done. So a male doctor had written that he'd always had love handles all his life, always had a problem, couldn't get rid of his love handles, and he'd done fat freezing in his lunch hour, and it was the only thing that had ever worked in his life. Isn't that amazing? So, fantastic. So he did fat freezing, and those love handles were gone for the first time ever in all his life. So he did a really good review in the Telegraph. I remember it years ago, and I remember reading and thinking, haha, fantastic. So I went running off and got a machine. I now have the latest, best machine, because obviously, being who I am, I always want to make sure I give the top premium service, the best. Although my prices, I've got 50% off at the moment, so I'm one of the cheapest, but with the best machine. It's the 360. It's incredible, because what that means is when you have an old-fashioned machine like Cool Sculpt or any of the old-fashioned ones, sucks up the fat, front and back, but it doesn't suck up the sides. So with CoolSculpt, they might put you on there for 45 minutes because they actually don't know how cold the machine is. Yeah, and they're pulling out the fat, and you're only frozen kind of top and sides. What's going on here? Yeah, so I'm not a fan. And what happens is they'll put you on there for about 45 minutes and you'll get bruises, and there's no need for all of that because they'll really pump it up to try and get results, because obviously it's not a 360 effect. You're not being frozen the whole area. So be careful of that. The other reason CoolSculpt is so expensive, although it's exactly the same, cryolipolysis, fat freezing, there's no difference. I do it, that fat freezing is fat freezing, cryolipolysis is cryolipolysis, CoolSculpt isn't any better. It's very expensive because CoolSculpt take a commission off the clinic or the treatment centre. So you as a client are charged an awful lot more because the clinic has to pay a commission to CoolSculpt. So that's why it's more expensive, not because it's any better, just because it's more expensive. And it's a bit like a car, a fat freezing. So you've got 360, or you've got CoolSculpt, or you've got all these different ones. It's like saying, just a brand of a car. They're all CoolSculpt, they're all fat freezing, they're all cryolipolysis. Yeah, it's us as aesthetic 360, which is there are only 3 that will be government approved when it's approved, because they were going to do that last year, because there are a lot of ones out there. Be very careful. Don't go anywhere without getting checked, because you don't want one of these other machines. Yeah, really, really be careful. You go for the right machine, because if you go for the wrong one, nothing's going to happen. But it's a question of whether they're insured or something. Always go to someone good, go to somebody you trust. Yeah. So it's like a car, fat freezing. Whether you've got a BMW or a Nissan or a Porsche, they're still a car. But you get what you pay for. So go for a good quality one. But CoolSculpt now, like any car, is pretty old-fashioned. So what we've got here is the Tesla. Yeah, although as I said, 50% discount. So it's the cheapest treatment, but the best machine, because I've got this clinic. I've got all my clients. I'm not a clinic who's just sitting here waiting to fat freeze you. I'm a nutritionist, apparently rated top weight loss one in London at the moment, and there's a lot of stuff going on here. Nutrition, eating psychology. There's lots and lots of clients. So we're not just here just to freeze you. That is kind of the thing that I offer to my clients who have lost weight, looking good, feeling great, but there's a pocket or two of fat that they want to get rid of. So that's why I got it. So it's a kind of add-on or a final stage. Or some people use it as a kickstart. So really, some people come in and they go, you know what, I just think by doing this, I'm going to get a real kickstart to get my life together. So, that's great if you want to use it for that. But as I said, it's not for huge people to have hundreds of treatments. It's not that. That's not the way it works. It's more of a sculpturing process. So you'll look more toned, you'll look leaner. Yeah, that's why inside thighs work really well, because you can see the definition. Obviously outside thighs, because it's blooming hard to get rid of fat on the outside thigh. It's from exercise. You can do as much as you like. Yeah, it's really, really hard. Those saddlebags are a build-up of toxin. They are a build-up of their accumulated fatty acids. So you can either use a roller and rub and cry, because it's agony if you've got fatty acids. But this is like a blockage. It's lymphatic again. It's a kind of blockage of toxins from the past, or as I said, fatty deposits, and it's kind of sitting there under the skin. So you can use a roller and roll it away, but that's going to take a very long time, very painful, and no guarantees. Whereas again, the fat freezing, we put the handles on the fat, we freeze it, and then it's crystallized, and then it flushes out, so it's gone and it doesn't come back. So I did my tummy years ago, and yes, it never came back. So people always say, how many treatments do you need to have? Well, one. Frankly, because as I said, if you go in and you're trying to you're very, very overweight and you're having loads of treatments, that's not necessarily, that's not what we're doing here. Yeah, this is for people who have a pocket of fat, a couple of pockets of fat that they want to get rid of. So that means just one treatment. Generally, most of my clients have one treatment, and then they come back to do another body area if they love the results. Some, as I said, do come back and they want to do it again. So maybe they've done it, maybe they come back a year later. Yeah, maybe they come back a year later, and it's a kind of kickstart, and it encourages them, and it makes this often the belly. It's normally the belly, and the belly goes down a bit. So you can use it for any reason, but really one treatment is enough, or maybe another one 6 months later if you wanted to make it even flatter. But it's not expensive. You don't have to keep coming back again and again and again. Yeah. And it, as I said, works on any area there's some fat, and it just freezes the fat and it just flushes away. So afterwards, you wouldn't even know. You leave here, you wouldn't even know. What I always say when it's done is imagine you're a hose. Yeah, your body's a hose. So what you've got is these dead cells in there, these crystallized cells. What would you do with a hose that was full of dead leaves? So lots of water, flush it through, water, 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 so the lymphatic flush is quicker, because obviously the more water you drink, the better the lymphatic system anyway. Obviously try and do it in conjunction with healthy eating and more water and exercise, which is, as you know, if you're talking to me, you know that's going to happen anyway. And then do lots of exercise after, because the more exercise you do, again, the quicker it'll flush through. The lymphatic system speeds up with health. So more and more exercise you do, the better. And also then massage, just for about 3 days. Just massage the area, yeah, a couple of times a day, just to speed up the lymphatic drainage. Now, you know where your lymph nodes are. So wherever you have done, massage towards the area, not hard or heavy or anything, just gently, gently, just to sort of speed up the lymphatic process and help it to push out through those lymph nodes a bit quicker. Why not? It's great. So just put a little bit of oil on or something and rub it. Also, don't do any saunas for 2 or 3 days after. Don't do any sort of boiling hot showers or hot water for 2 or 3 days after, because you've done this amazing thing of, you know, killed those fat cells dead. So we don't want to sort of then have, you know, really hot water on it. And alcohol, there's, you know, basically we're best to avoid alcohol the night before and maybe 2 or 3 nights after, because again, that's the lymphatic process. It's all about being healthy. So somebody really healthy, the lymphatic system works really well, they get better results. So just during that time. Somebody else was talking about coffee, not having coffee, but we don't have that problem because we don't really bruise people. I think you have cool skull because they've got to shove you on there 45 minutes and really put it up. They quite often bruise people, and coffee, obviously, if you have lots of coffee, you can increase the bruising. That's all it's about. It's nothing to do with the health. So it's a bruising thing. So we don't, ours doesn't really bruise. Apart from, obviously, if you do the bra bulge, that does, because you're very thin skin there. So if you're having a thin skin area, yeah, like the bra bulge, then you might think about not having lots of excessive coffee. That's what they say. Don't have excessive coffee, but hopefully you're not having excessive coffee anyway, so we don't need to talk about it. So that is fat freezing. The simplest way to literally say this is an area of fat I can't get rid of. Love handles are very popular, and we just put the handles on and we freeze the fat cells. They're crystallized and they're gone, and they don't come back because of course we've killed them. So it is the only way you can target it, and then you literally can go back to the office. Nothing, just exercise and a bit of massage. Could be simpler. So have a think about it. If you are feeling you've got a pocket of fat you need to deal with. Okay, so I hope that's helpful. So all of us, I hope, are looking forward to, you know, being lean and toned for the summer. We're all working on our skeletal muscle. We're all doing resistance. We're all working on our subcutaneous fat. We're all eating sensibly at the right time. Yeah, we're all eating the right food. And all of that is helpful. That Ozempic, again, as I said, is not the way forward because it's all in here. So reach out to me. Let's have a conversation about fat freezing, or about emotional eating, or about nutrition, or about what exercise you need to do, because you know that I'm the anti-thigh. I'm the thigh buster. I can reduce your thighs, reduce your belly quicker than probably anybody else. You know that. And so reach out to me, and I'm, you know, love to have a chat with you. But thank you very much for joining me this evening. Still lots of lovely people joining. But I do finish at 6:30. So that is kind of my lot. Oh yes, one more question again about skin. Yes, everyone always asks about that. We know that collagen works brilliantly because collagen is, remember the word collagen, C-O-L-L, is K-O-L-L in Latin, K-O-L-L-A, which stands for structure and system. It is the strength and structure and system of your whole body. It's your ligaments, your tendons. It's 80% of your dry skin weight. Yeah. It's 40% of your muscles. It's so important. And as we're getting older and our estrogen goes down, so we lose a lot of all the collagen and the lubrication. Collagen. And people were saying, can you ingest it? Of course you can ingest it, but you do need to do collagen loading up front. You really need to raise your collagen levels first. Just taking collagen, is it going to work? Depends how you know, obviously your age and your skin and how little estrogen you've got. But if you collagen load at the beginning, really boost it up. And again, I got this amazing lady, so reach out to me if you want to, who's It's Nobel Prize winning, and they do a lot of collagen loading. If you do collagen loading, if you watch any of the videos on YouTube, it always says, the doctors always say, do collagen loading up front so you get your levels right up. Yeah, taking about 3 sachets a day, and then once you're then on it, you can just take 1 a day forever because you've already got those levels up. So that was the other question about collagen. So I hope that's been helpful, and thank you for joining me, and I will see you next week. So Ozempic, fruit in your yogurt, I've explained that. Why not? Respect fruit, it's an acid habit on its own. Fat free is an incredibly useful tool, and collagen, yes, but remember you've got a collagen load. Hope that's been helpful, and lots of love. Thank you for joining me. Enjoy this heat, and long may the sun continue. Lots of people joining still. I'm sorry I have to go. Lots and lots of love. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next week, and we'll have lots more questions. Send me lots of questions, please. Love those questions. Lots of love. Thanks for joining me. Bye bye.